Hello everybody. Again I am here with you for the last point of this unit, that is the thermal properties of solid, and that last point is limitations of Debye's model. Now whatever the Debye suggested his theory, and according to that all the vibrations or the energy of the any solid is total vibrational energy of that particular solid or the crystal is to be there. But still whatever the calculations done by the Debye, the still there is some limitations or some sort of it is not giving the completeness for this Debye's model. And what are that exactly the limitations, and that we will see here in detail. The first one limitation, it was to be taken by the Debye's, whatever be the considerations are to be there. It is to be regarding the Debye's continuum model. It is valid only for the longer wavelengths. It is not for the shorter wavelength. These are going to be available. Applicable, and that's why only for the low frequency range it is going to be active as far as the solids are going to be concerned. And about this part, the Debye continuum model is only valid up to the longer wavelengths are to be there. Again, the total number of modes of vibrations are assumed to be 3n is to be there, and this is somehow difficult to justify solid considered to be as an elastic continuum which is should be possessing infinite frequencies. It is not to be there. It is only up to this much of amount. एवढा amount of vibrations असे होतील modes of vibrations, it is cannot be limited, and this is somehow the one another limit for the Debye. And next one is if we look at this case, it is to be the that is the cutoff frequency. yesterday also म्हणजे मागच्या सेशनमध्ये पण ज्या पद्धतीने सांगितलं की कट ऑफ फ्रिक्वेन्सी कॉमन घेतली ट्रान्सवर्स वेव्हला आणि लॉन्जिट्यूडला सुद्धा. दॅट इज द कट ऑफ फ्रिक्वेन्सी इज ॲज्युम्ड फॉर द सेम फॉर द बोथ द लॉन्जिट्यूडनल as well as the transverse wave. That is somewhat not going to be accepted, and again difficult to justify the different velocities of the transverse and the longitudinal waves. Should be at least should be different, and cutoff frequency also should be different म्हणजे कारण because of transverse wave is the different thing. It is perpendicular, vibrations are perpendicular to the direction of the propagation, and here the in the longitudinal, the vibrations of the particle along the direction of the propagation of the your wave is to be there, and that's why we cannot assume the limit similar for the both the cases. It should be different because the situation is a little bit different in both the cases, and somehow it is giving some limitations for the Debye's model. Again, the according to the Debye theory, theta d is the independent of temperature is to be there, and it is somehow actually it is found very it is going to be vary up to an extent of 10% or the even more. म्हणजे जे के theta d is not taken as an value for the temperature dependent is to be there. It is because it is taken as a temperature independent, and that's why the whatever the parameters that is taken kb upon that whatever be the values to be there, it is somehow not depend on the temperature. It is somehow limited, or it going to be vary from up to 10% variation. Excuse me, and it is little bit larger, 10% is to be there, and that's why it is not to be somehow giving some limitations regarding that. Lastly, the two another limitations are to be there. The theory does not take into account the related to actual crystalline nature of the solid is to be there, and the theory cannot be applied for the crystal comprising more than the one type of the atoms, and that's what the sometimes is going to be the limitations for the Debye's model. And lastly, the theory completely ignores the interactions among the atoms are to be there, and the contribution of electrons to the specific heat is to be there. Somehow हे एक अनदर रिझन आहे, लिमिटेशन आहे की इंटर ॲटॉमिक डिस्टन्सेस जे काय आहे किंवा इंटरॅक्शन त्यांच्यामधली जी काय ॲटम्समधली ही याच्यामध्ये टोटली निग्लेक्ट करण्यात आलेली आहे किंवा त्याच्यामध्ये काउंट करण्यात आलेली नाही. आणि दुसरं, जेव्हा किंवा टेम्परेचरच्या नुसार इलेक्ट्रॉन्समध्ये पण त्याच्या स्पेसिफिक हीटमध्ये जे काही कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन होणार आहे ते सुद्धा इग्नोर झालं ह्याच्यामध्ये. आणि समहाव this gives the limitations for the Debye, and these are the limitations for the Debye model. And this is how the last session, or the what exactly meaning to be as an limitations of the Debye model, and here this unit is going to be finished. हा पॉईंट जरी छोटे छोटे 6 पॉईंट असले तरी हा बऱ्याच वेळेस शॉर्ट नोटमध्ये येतो आणि तुम्हाला 4 ते 5 मार्क देऊन जातो. दॅट्स वाय it is very simple one, and it gives you maximum marks. So be careful, and while don't neglect either the smaller points are to be there. Until then, take care.